Morning guys, it's day 2 of the Mallacoota Vic Bream Classic. Dad and I are sitting in first place and we're just about to take off. Plan for today is very similar to what we did yesterday. We'll fish the bottom and top lakes with little soft plastics, predominantly Zman grubs, and we'll see how we go. I might do some filming today, but we're going to concentrate on the fishing and I'll let you guys know the outcome of the results. Cheers. Hey everyone, it's Paul here. This is not day 2 of the Mallacoota Vic Bream Classic like you were all expecting, so apologies for that. But I wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of what happened on the day. Day 2 started off a lot slower than day 1 for Dad and I. We both started the day in the bottom lake again, fishing deep. We got one fish really quickly and then things really slowed down from there. We had 3 fish by about 9:30 in the morning and all 3 fish came on the 2-inch Zman grub on the heavy head there. So that's the 1/8 jig head that we used for the majority of the weekend. At about 9:30 on day 2, we made a move up towards the top lake and fished some rocky points, and that's where we were able to fill out our bag limit on 2.5-inch Zman grubs on a 1/16 and a 1/11 jig head. And this is the outfit that I used. There's the 2-inch grub, 2.5-inch grub rather. Just a slightly bigger profile, and that's around the same time that wind really got up on day 2 as well. From there, once we filled out our limit, we kept moving around trying to hit more wind-blown rocky points, and we got 2 good upgrades late in the day. So unfortunately, I was really preoccupied with fishing, just concentrating on all our decision making on my technique, just making sure everything was nice and slow, my casts were accurate. So apologies for not getting the action for you guys this time. Because we didn't get the action on the day, I wanted to take the time now just to go through the outfits that I used and quickly go through the techniques as well, just to give you guys a good sense of what happened on that day. So the main outfit that I used for the entire weekend is the Millerods Grub Freak. This is the 7'3" version, and it's super light but extremely sensitive. That's what really made the difference between feeling those subtle bites and missing them. So the Grub Freak, I've matched that to a Daiwa 2004. This is an old Steez reel. I've got that spooled with 8-pound Unitika braid and a 3-pound, not 3.5 pound like I mentioned in my earlier report. This is a 3-pound VHard Sunline leader. And the jig head that I have is a 1/8 TT and a 2-inch Zman grub in motor oil colour. So as you guys might have also seen, Ian has these Grub Freaks as a production version. So these are made not by hand, but still based on the same blank, same components for a fraction of the price. So check these out. And I'll talk about the second outfit that I have, that I use predominantly for the other part of the weekend. This is the Millerods Brimbuster Brawler. This is a 6'7" rod. So it's a little bit beefier. It's a 2 to 5 kilo rated stick. So it's got a lot of power in the butt section, but still has that really nice, subtle, gentle tip to get your plastic out a long way, but also feel those bites and not pull the hooks. Both these rods are a faster action, and this is something that suits me well, especially when fishing with plastics. The outfit, or the remainder of the outfit, is a 2500 size or 2508 size Daiwa Steez reel. Again, one of the older versions. I have some new line that I spooled up just before the competition, and this is the Daiwa More Than Branzino 12 strand braid, and this is 0.8 of a PE, which equals 16 pound. So I'll quickly show you guys just how thin the stuff is. I was running quite a long leader, but hopefully you can see that braid is super thin. That's 16-pound braid. And the leader used on this outfit was 4-pound Yamatoyo fluorocarbon. So I went with a slightly heavier leader on the bigger plastic, hoping for a bigger bite and a bigger fish. And this is the exact outfit that I caught that 1.2, 1.3 kilo brim in practice that you guys would have seen from the first video. So those are the 2 outfits that I used for the majority of the weekend. Again, very simple, an all soft plastics presentation. 2-inch grub for those subtle takes, for those timid fish, and when the action got a little bit better, I used a bigger profile in the 2.5 and a slightly heavier head, especially when the wind really got up. In terms of, as I mentioned, braid and leader combo is pretty straightforward. 8-pound braid, 3-pound leader, 16-pound braid, 4-pound leader. The technique for the 2 grubs was really quite simple. For the deeper bites, especially with that 2-inch grub, it was really quite a slow crawl, little subtle hops along the bottom, just making sure that tail kicked with that heavy head. So the head was down and the tail was up, and the brim come along and just pluck it off the bottom. Whereas with the 2.5-inch grub, that slightly bigger profile, I went for a slightly more aggressive twitch and hop retrieve, just trying to get the brim's attention and get him to aggressively eat that plastic. But overall, didn't really do anything special. It's just a matter of patience and perseverance on that 2-inch grub. A lot of the takes were right near the boat, so we were hopping those plastics all the way back instead of just winding them in a couple of meters out. There's some key fish that we caught right under the boat. There's something about the difference in action once it gets near the boat. The angle of the line changes, and that plastic must just be slowly moving under the boat, which the brim find irresistible. So that's a good little tip for you guys at home who don't normally fish the plastic all the way back. Give that a go next time. Alright, now that we've talked about the lures, the techniques, and the rods and reels that I used over the weekend, let's jump straight into the weigh-in on day 2. We're back at the boat ramp, and we're just about to weigh in. Back at the ramp on day 2, just getting this bag wet. Alright, yeah. Alright, I've got another good bag today. Dad and I.
Small. They're just small. Alright, so whereabouts did you guys fish?
We're on the top of the
I thought it was Alright, next up, important bag coming up now. This is Team Lowrance, Paul Malloff.
Billy.
How you going, mate?
Good.
Feels alright.
Good
Doesn't
day.
feel like yesterday's bag.
No, it's not quite up there.
But you had, what you had? 50 grams on Hodgie?
500.
500, yeah. Oh yeah, 500 on Hodgie.
Yep.
So you
we're all staying together too.
so you
House was 1 and 2.
You almost had a fish. You got a fish on you. But this is all right, mate. This is not a bad anchor bag. So tell us a little bit about today.
Yeah. Very different to yesterday. Yesterday, the majority of the fish we caught down the bottom lake, and all on 2-inch Zman grubs.
Okay.
So we actually downsized because of the fishing was so tough.
Really?
Really slowed it down. Big 1/8 jig head, 2-inch grub, and just slowly just crawled it along the bottom and got some of those bigger fish. And then today we actually used the wind to our advantage and hit a couple of rocky points.
Yep.
And got 2 upgrades and 2 casts on a 2.5-inch Zman. So
okay. So it's funny that you say you went downsize in the actual grub,
plastic, yeah,
a heavier jig.
Yeah, that's right. Just because of the wind as well, so I can feel it, get it down to the bottom nice and quick.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's have a look, mate, because I think this is going to make you potentially hard to beat unless Hodgie just drops a chunk on you. But I haven't seen too many black brim. Everything's yellow.
There's a couple of blacks in there.
No, I mean just generally in the field. But, mate, 4.29 kilos for Team Lowrance deserves a big round of applause. There we go.
Thanks, Billy.
Well done, mate. Big round of applause as they head off Team Lowrance. 4.29 kilos, gonna make them hard to beat. Very hard.